Welcome back, my passive income investors. Alike to the complete destruction of Facebook. Well, not the complete destruction, but we got to get into why the stock is trading down on this enlightening, well, not necessarily enlightening news. I picked up some shares. I currently picked up 4 shares today. I think the price was right around 346, 347 is what I purchased at. It pulled back to like 340, and we've just been holding flat. I picked these up in my corporate trading account, at which I have a total of 24 shares, but I also have another 20 shares in my regular brokerage account. So I'm sitting on about 44 shares of Facebook, kind of finalizing that position off, rounding it to around a $20,000 total capital position in this stock. But just take a look at this, guys. So now it's trading down 10% from its all-time highs. It was one of the only red tech giants today, and I honestly saw it as a bit of a buying opportunity, trading down to about a 25 PE, dipping back below that $1 trillion market cap value. These are some pretty big moves, causing a lot of fear in this company, and I want to talk about these fears because this is a bad time to be having any kind of bad rhetoric surrounding a company, because there's no earnings coming out until the end of October, November timeframe. So anything that happens now is kind of like this September slump where we're kind of just sitting on our hands, and it's kind of just being interpreted by the retail investors, the institutional investors, and exactly how they should be playing this. But because Facebook's already trading at what I would consider a discount, let's talk about how bad this news may be affecting them, because my God, you do not have to turn far to so many articles. Maybe I can slim my head up here in the corner so you guys can read this. Is basically Facebook drops after warning Apple ad tracking will slow growth. Now, this was something that I thought would have hit harder when the news first hit, because basically Apple, being the parent of the entire advertising world, they basically stated that, hey, we're going to allow users to opt into, if they want, targeted ads for themselves. And I use targeted ads all the time. I love targeted ads. I mean, it's the only reason that you get ads on stuff that you potentially like. It's not like they're trying to track what you're doing every day. They just kind of want to say, hey, this guy recently looked up bottles of wine. Let's market some wine to this person, stuff like that. But I'm sure you were aware that maybe I think it was an Apple update like months ago, because this isn't new news, but when they did the update, I'm sure you got the warning when you logged into Facebook saying, hey, from the new Apple updates and policies, do you agree to let Facebook or Google market and target your information? And a lot of people probably opt in at no, at which here we have this news, guys. Facebook fell as much as 4.3% to the lowest point since July after warning Apple's Inc.'s new data collection restrictions will hurt its third quarter results. The company said in a blog post Wednesday that recent changes made by Apple to limit targeting advertising will have a greater impact in the third quarter compared to the second quarter. The stock tumbled reflects investors' concerns that Facebook is already seeing a decline in digital advertising business after Apple implemented a software update to limit targeted advertisements on iPhones. Apple's new rules require app users to explicitly say they are willing to allow their activity to be followed across the internet. Large brand and small businesses often rely on the user activity as a way to reach precise groups of prospective customers. And again, this is something that I personally use. And right now I'm spending more money on Facebook ads than I have ever done in the past. And a lot of people will like to keep saying that Facebook's slowing down because obviously their users are kind of reaching the max capacity on, say, the Facebook platform. But we only just saw them open up marketing to WhatsApp. We only are just getting a glimpse into what they might be doing with Facebook Marketplace, because that's a completely untapped source of revenue generation to compete with eBay. And it's still a completely free thing to use right now. So I still feel like Facebook's got so many tricks they can pull out of their hat to continue to monetize and make sure that they cushion the blow. But again, when you're talking about a company that was growing revenues by like 40%, EPS numbers that were up 100%, I mean, to see maybe a 10, even a 15% correlation in revenue difference, it'll hurt the quarter. But from the current valuation standpoint, I don't see it being that big of a deal from the current drop we've experienced. And I mean, it's not good though. I mean, Facebook is like the goat that gets thrown under the bus anytime there's rhetoric around the big tech giants. I always feel like it's that little kid that gets picked on in school amongst the top 10 giants that currently exist on that S&P weighting. Because if you come into Bloomberg, any other article source, guys, they're saying it's because of all kinds of stuff. I mean, look at the rhetoric that's coming out of Bloomberg here, or not Bloomberg, Motley Fool, sorry, on what happened to Facebook. They just dropped this article an hour ago. Facebook's X-Check program, which exempts VIP Facebook users from the company, usually rules against posting abusive content. Instagram's negative effects on mental health of teenage girls. How controversial content posted on Facebook has tended to make Americans angrier. Facebook's inability to prevent human traffickers in and armed groups from manipulating its platform for nefarious ends. How Facebook failed perhaps its most crucial test in 2020. Mark Zuckerberg's desire to use the platform to encourage Americans to seek vaccinations against the CV pandemic. Let's be careful here what we're saying. YouTube's going to flag me for this. So sowing divisiveness and conspiracizing or whatever conspiracies theories instead. I mean, this is the same BS we hear every single quarter. So anyways, I picked up shares, guys. I'm curious to see what earnings bring up, but we're going to have to patiently wait. I think it's a buying opportunity. Taking a look at StockTwits here, guys. The markets did recover or seemingly are recovering from that one-day dip. You got to buy the dip every time there's a dip because they just don't seem to last. We just had the Federal Reserve come out and they did touch base on cryptocurrencies a little bit, saying that this is a pretty innovative technology that they're just kind of trying to concrete where they sit on it before they start adding any regulatory effects to it. So Bitcoin kind of bumped up a little bit going into the Fed meeting, but it's just been flatlining ever since. So the only other purchases I've done literally today, aside from Facebook, was I did purchase a bit more Bitcoin. Every time it makes a major dip, I buy about $200 worth. Nothing crazy. If it goes back into the mid 30s or low 30s, I will be doing a $1,000 purchase. I've been waiting for a nice buying dip there. I know a lot of people aren't into crypto, but if you are, I'm going to leave my referral link to ShakePay in the description below for Canadians only, because ShakePay gives you free crypto every single day just for shaking the app. It's the best platform because it compounds how much it gives you every day, so long as you don't skip a day. Best honest crypto promo platform I've ever seen. They're not paying me to do this, but you'll get 10 free dollars if you deposit 100 with my referral link. You get 10 bucks, I get 10 bucks, and then you just shake the phone every day to get free Bitcoin. It's beautiful. But in light of all of this, folks, because look at, I mean, even I did this today and I got 31 cents in free Bitcoin. Awesome stuff, right? But in light of all of this, folks, I want to know what you think about the insanity here. Let me get off my screen share to finish this up. What a wild week in the markets. Always a good buying opportunity when we get dips in the tech giants. I'm going to be focused more probably toward the dividend side of things going into the latter half of this year. I may finish off buying one more Google share. I wish I bought the dip because it recovered pretty drastically. But in light of this, guys, you're going to be seeing a lot more dividend purchases, a lot more dividend stocks talked about, because I'm kind of happy with where my tech currently sits. So let me know what you think. What are you doing in this market in that comment section below? Stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you tomorrow.